What's up, superstars? On this video, we're going to be unboxing and testing out a new heat press that we got from Amazon. Now, this heat press is under $300. It's a power press. Now, our goal here, again, is not to find the most expensive heat press, is to find the best budget heat press for under $300. Now, this is part of a series, so make sure you guys follow along so that we can complete also a wash test and you guys can find the actual results of how this heat press performs. Now, let's get to the unboxing. I'm gonna move this to the ground. First thing I'm noticing is gonna be their Teflon sheet. There's also an included fuse in case it goes out, and also their instructions. We'll set that aside. I do see there is a metal handle that needs to be screwed on. They've got a nice label here that tells you the voltage, the wattage, and also that comes with a 1-year warranty. Okay, let's remove these straps. Pretty smooth so far. And this is going to be the bottom area. I'm going to be installing the metal handle. It comes with a included Allen key. I'm gonna move this to the edge. The other bolt. There you go. Now it's easily movable. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take out the cord. The cord is very tight. This is where the fuse goes. So let me double check if there's a fuse in there. There is. So that's just an extra fuse that was included. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fire this up. At the same time, I'm going to time how long it takes to heat up to 300 degrees. So let's go ahead and plug this in. I'm going to get this ready. There you go. I'm going to start the timer. Now I'm going to set the temperature. It's just a quick button, it seems like, right here, temperature. It's at 370, so let me drop this to 300. And then I'm gonna hit the time. It's at 10 seconds, so I'm gonna drop that to 7 seconds. There you go. It's on Fahrenheit. There's Celsius available too, so we'll just let it fire up and then go from there. All right, so I let it heat up. It is 298, 299, 300, just about 300. So it took me roughly 6 minutes and 25 seconds. That's the time it took to heat up to 300. That's not the quickest, that's not the longest as well. Let's talk a little bit about the product description. I forgot to go over that. This is a power press. They claim this is going to be an industrial quality size or industrial strength heat press. It is a standard 110 volt, 1400 watts, has a digital control. Everything is built in here, and it comes again with a Teflon sheet onto the top. It's supposed to be able to fire up to 455 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has a removable bottom silicone mat, and it has a bottom handle for it to easily move around. So that's some of the specs here. And it also comes with a foam handle here, so this is easy to grab onto. And it also has a pressure adjustment knob onto the back of the heat press. So now that it's fired up to 300 degrees, I'm going to do a heat test to test out the different areas and ranges on the press. Now the middle area is going to be 315 degrees, and then onto this right top quadrant, I'm getting 299, 296. I'm getting 260, 273 on that corner. Also 276, 293, 310, and last about 287, 288, 290. So it heats up pretty hot. That's a good sign. Everything, it doesn't fluctuate too much. That's one of the good signs so far. Now let's go ahead and do a pressure test. So actually, 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the dollar bill test. This is going to test the pressure of the heat press. So what we're doing here is we're testing to make sure that everything is even as far as the pressure. We don't want any loose ends where the dollar bill is going to slip out. That's the purpose of this test. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick clamp, and I'm going to tug on that, and it's tight. It is tight. So it passes the pressure test. And not only does it pass the pressure test, but it wasn't too bad to clamp onto as well. And this handle is good so that you can hold against it. And I know I can still twist it. This is very loose still. But now let's go ahead and test our transfer onto the shirt. Let's go ahead and load the shirt. This is actually going to be a Bella Canvas 3001. And this one in particular is going to be a size medium. So I'm going to measure this real quick. Let me straighten this out. Now from the armpit to the armpit, I am getting about 19 inches. And then from the bottom to the top, I'm getting about 23 3/4 in height. So again, Bella Canvas 3001 is what we're using here. Now let's go ahead and load the t-shirt. Now the back is a bit tight to load. There's different ways to set it up. You guys can do it sideways, but I'm going to do it the conventional way. Now this pad also moves, so you're able to kind of bring it out a bit, adjust it, then bring it back in. Okay, let me check to make sure that everything is nice and flat. I'm gonna go ahead and do a pre-press. It's pretty easy so far to clamp down. Now I'm also going to be measuring our transfer. Now this is the size of the transfer that we're going to be using, nice, bright, and vibrant. Now I made this transfer very big because I'm going to be testing out the press, and I want almost a full-size design. So it's going to be 14.5 inches in height, and as far as the width, I'm getting 11 inches. So 11 by 14.5, pretty big print. That's what I'm going to be using for this shirt. So this is where I brought the neck to, and I'm going to be using my I'm actually first going to be folding this in half. This is a quick cheat guide so that it will help me get to the midpoint. So I'm just going to be aligning. Let me take a look at the design. So I want the midpoint, so I'm going to be aligning the shoe to the arm because those are the widest parts of the press or the design. I'm going to give it a quick crease. And that's going to help me get to the midpoint. I'm going to use my fingers to help me adjust or to help me measure real quick what roughly 3 inches is going to be. I'm going to place that in the center. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to adjust this. So what I'm going to do is actually move this down so that I can move my design up. So give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and use some tape here so I can get it. I'm doing this because it's such a wide or such a tall print that I'm maximizing the whole press. So I need to move the design as high as possible while it's still sitting here. So let's go ahead and adjust that. Okay, let me check to make sure everything's flattened nicely in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and place the Teflon sheet on top of this. And let's go ahead and press. Let's go ahead and let the design cool before we peel. Now to my favorite part, we're gonna peel the transfer. I'm gonna go ahead and get a corner, crack it, and peel. So I'm gonna flip this back around and we're gonna do that second press. Stick it back in there. Let's press. Let's take a look at the results. So far, everything looks pretty good. The colors are bold. I didn't lose any fading from the transfer. If you also look very closely, I can also see the lines. The transfer is ingrained into the t-shirt. So it does show that there's enough pressure. Yeah, so far so good. Let me know what you guys think on this. One more thing I did want to add is I'm gonna go ahead and do a measurement. I forgot to do that. So the pad, it's actually 15 inches by 15 inches. And now the heating element, it is 14 3/4 by about 14 3/4. So it's not quite 15 by 15 like what they stated, but it is pretty close. That's something that you do need to keep in mind. So far it passes our pressure test. The heat was pretty good, but it does need to do a wash test. So watch our other video where we're gonna be comparing this along with 7 other heat presses where we're gonna actually conduct a wash test so that you can see the results afterwards, because that is the most important thing. You can press and get a transfer onto a t-shirt, but how long will it last? And that determines by how much pressure it has and other variables. So make sure you guys follow along to that video where we're gonna be covering all these different presses, and we'll show you guys which is the winner of the best heat presses under $300. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys hit like, make sure you guys hit subscribe, support the channel. You guys have any questions, make sure you drop it below. I'll be sure to help you guys out. I'll catch you guys on the next one.